This here is the Galaxy Samsung S24 Ultra on the left, and I have the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL on the right, shooting 4K 60 FPS on the front camera. Welcome to the camera comparison. This had to be done. It's now time to battle the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL with the S24 Ultra. A lot of you requested this video. I myself want to do this video. This is the front camera. Some good things to be said here. It's a focus thing on the S24 Ultra. On the Pixel you see that the 1x is really wider, and I can do 1.4. Also, by the way, zoom up to 4x while using the front camera. And this is something I cannot do on the Galaxy S24 Ultra. So now guys, I'm gonna do a slow pan for you. Check the sky. I can see that the Pixel is trying to capture more of the electricity lines above my head. Yeah, actually this is something I can see right now. Definitely seems that the front video from the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL isn't that bad at all. The front camera in the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL, 42 megapixel. It's actually a brand new camera compared to the 8 Pro. And from what I see, it is able to deliver. One more check here. The footage is better on the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL. You can check the clouds behind me. The S24 Ultra is overexposing them somehow, or at least that's what I see in the viewfinder. Right now, see, I have sky and clouds in the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL, and everything above my head in the S24 Ultra is just, yeah, a white stain. So better exposure control. And now it's time to see what this back camera can do. We're starting from 1x. I'm gonna try to run to test the stabilization on both phones. Alright, and we'll now go and use 2x on both phones. And I'm gonna go directly 5x as the Pixel has 5x. So this here is 5x. And I can go and do 10x now on both phones. This is the 10x guys, and I can do up to 20x on both phones. This is the footage that we are getting. Let's try to test the zoom cameras again. 5x optical zoom on both devices. Google as well as Samsung adopted the new trend. So 5x here, 10x on the S24 Ultra, 10x now as well on the Pixel. I have a feeling that the 10x video from the Pixel is somehow better. It's more sharp and also more details. Let me know what you think down below guys. And now let's heat up 20x. Same story, see? The video from the Pixel on 20x seems to be just a tiny bit better than the one from the S24 Ultra. Now let's jump to the UltraWide camera. The UltraWide camera, 48 megapixel again. It's a brand new UltraWide camera in the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL. Can we go from the ultrawide to 1x? Yes, we can on both phones. And from 1x to 5x on both phones. Absolutely. Going back to 1x and going back to the ultrawide. On the Galaxy, I'm able to also switch to the front camera, not working on the Pixel. And this is, guys, a zoom lens cycle transition test. Ultrawide 1, 2, 5. It seems that they're both not doing great. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. And now it's time to check the night video on both devices. Again, the S24 Ultra footage is on the left. The Pixel 9 Pro XL is on the right. And by the way, what you can see on the screen is 4K 30 FPS. Just for the sake of light, I decided to use 30 FPS for the night video, to just see how much light can those sensors crank. And this would be the 4K 30 FPS video with the back camera. Let me try to capture some sky here and do a slow pan. Now have in mind that although it's night, we have a very good source of illumination here, which is the street light. So it's not completely dark. And if you wonder if video boost works well, you might watch my dedicated video boost on and off comparison. So let's check the stabilization while running in night. Okay. Let me know, guys, what you think down below. Which camera is doing a better job in the night video? Let's continue with the photos. We're gonna be starting here with the portraits. The Google Pixel 9 pixel photo is on the left and the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra is on the right. The S24 Ultra applies a really strong bokeh, and this is something that you can adjust so it's not dramatic. What I don't like in this scenario here is the fact that the bokeh was so strong. It also messes with the hair here and with the shirt of the boy. Let's zoom in a bit to examine more. The Pixel 9 pixel is a killer in the cutouts here, doing a very nice job, and the S24 Ultra wasn't so great in this scenario. In terms of skin tone, I do believe that both phones are very accurate. Another portrait shot using a different focal length. Now we can still see that the S24 Ultra somehow overdoes the bokeh, which I don't like, but overall both phones did a good job. If we have to examine the cutouts, I think in this scenario the S24 Ultra didn't really fail. Also, guys, you can see here that the S24 Ultra in this image feels more organic and the skin tone looks more natural. We see a lot of sharpening on the skin tone on the cheeks here, and also the hair strands doesn't look so great. The S24 Ultra applied more bokeh, but hence the shot ended up being more beautiful, more organic, and also more natural. The next scenario is a bright shot in a sunny day. We have some yellow tints here on the S24 Ultra, but overall the color rendition on the S24 Ultra feels better. Also, if we start to zoom in these areas, you can see how the pixel represents the shadows, and if we have to zoom in on that greenery, I do believe that the S24 Ultra was able to capture them in a more realistic way. The next scenario is the same. Again, it's using the main camera. Let's first start to examine the sky. Overall, nice colors from both phones. I don't see any big differences and no big issues. The photo rendition from the S24 Ultra just feels a bit more natural. Also, when we start to zoom in, you can see that the photo from the Pixel lacks detail, and again, a lot of sharpness in almost every shot. The moment you start to zoom in, you just realize that the S24 Ultra photo just looks better. Take a look at this greenery here, very recognizable on the Pixel. And again, a shot from the main camera. This one is very challenging because we have a direct sun on the sensor. This type of scenarios might be a bit problematic for the S24 Ultra as it really tries to overexpose, and this can be seen here. And the moment we start zooming in here on the S24 Ultra shot, we can see that this detail is lost. Else, let's try to check also the tree. I think very much same, but when we start zooming in again, the S24 Ultra for sure is able to preserve more detail. And another shot from the main camera. Let's try to analyze the details because this might be problematic. Pixel 9 pixel is not that great, a lot of sharpness again, so this is really something that I observe almost in every shot. If we try to zoom in on the people, let's try to examine them. Well, yeah, at this point 700%, still looking better on the S24 Ultra. Another shot from the main camera. Overall, the photos from the S24 Ultra are more vibrant. I do believe they have this signature Samsung touch and feel, but this is not a problem. The problem is when you start zooming in, yeah, you can just see that the detail preservation in the photo from the S24 Ultra is just better. What we can observe from the Pixel is that at some point, like 200%, the photos are okay, but then when you start to zoom in, you can see this excessive sharpening, and of course also the loss of detail. Let's test a bit the zoom of those phones. This is a 1x picture. I think at 1x, again, the same observations as before. This is where it gets interesting because this is a 5x shot from both dedicated 5x cameras. You can see that the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL has an f of 2.8 and the S24 Ultra 5x camera has an aperture of 3.4. If we start to zoom in though, yeah, not so different. Let me know what's in below in the comments. And here, guys, this is, I think, key. Still more detail on the shot from the S24 Ultra. Take a look at the leaves and analyze the wood here. Else the text, I think, on both phones just good enough. And this will be a 10x shot again. If we start to zoom in, we're gonna just still see the very same observation. And this will be the 30x. Now in this shot, I like the output from the Pixel better. For this specific use case where we have text, more contrast for sure on the Pixel, and we have these halo effects here on the Samsung that are just not great. The next shot is again from the main camera as I was passing by. This is interesting though. In this shot, for sure, the Pixel 9 Pro XL did a better job. We have a better exposure, we have a better focus, and of course, even when we try to read the text here, right, not only the colors, but also the text, the logos are clearly better visible on the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL. This here was an attempt for a macro photo. The Google Pixel 9 Pro XL does support macro photos, but the results aren't that nice. The natural bokeh that you can get from the Samsung S24 Ultra is just way better, and I do really prefer the shot from the S24 Ultra more. Let's put the zoom camera again to the test. This is the 1x photo. I'm gonna be zooming in here, guys, so just first examine both photos. Again, same observation are valid. And this here is a 5x shot from both dedicated zoom cameras. Now, this was the object. And again, see, the footage from the S24 Ultra looks more natural. We have more details in the shadows, but also in the highlights. The branches here looks better on the S24 Ultra compared to the Pixel 9 Pro XL, and when we start to zoom in, it only gets worse for the Pixel. And this here is the 10x scenario. Now 10x is interesting because it might be the focal point where somehow Pixel takes the lead. As you know, Samsung decided to ditch the 10x optical zoom from the S24 Ultra, so right now here we're using crops, and the footage here from the Pixel definitely have more contrast, looks just better, and the footage from the S24 Ultra is muffled, bit blurred, so this time I'll pick the photo from the Pixel 9 Pro XL. This here is a regular photo, no portraits. Let's try to examine the skin tone. By the way, this is really weird. When you're not using the portrait mode, you're getting some very nice cutouts that just from the sensor of the Pixel 9 Pro XL, but apparently it is not doing that in the best way for the portraits. Skin tone observations are just the same. Here again we have some sharpness, and I don't really like how the hair is represented. Although if I have to compare the t-shirt, we have a bit more detail here on the Pixel just because the S24 Ultra overexposes the highlights, but the end results are very comparable. Let's examine more people's photos. This is a portrait again, and I do have the same observation. The face, which is the main subject of the portrait photo, is better in the S24 Ultra, but somehow we have blur applied everywhere else. Now I know that you can adjust this, right? But I would have preferred a combination between this here and this here. The S24 Ultra is just doing a great job with cutouts, and the Pixel isn't that great, which is just crazy because Google kind of invented this, right? Straight from the beginning, but right now they are doing a bad job at cutouts. Also, when we start to zoom in on the face alone, you're gonna see how much of the detail is lost. And again, we have this excessive sharpening, doesn't look great. The same observation is valid here. Just take a look at the skin. I don't like the footage from the Pixel. When you start to zoom in at some point, it looks so digital. And when you start to zoom in on the skin again, you can see a lot of sharpness and loss of detail. Now let's check the new selfie camera from the Google Pixel Pro XL. The Pixel applies far more sharpening than the Samsung, and I have disabled face retouch to get more natural results. Another shot from the main camera, again same observations apply, but the interesting thing here is that I tested also the zoom. This is the 5x, and pay attention here guys, because I do believe that the 5x from the Pixel 9 Pro XL is just better than Samsung. Why? Well, just take a look at this footage. Of course, it does suffer again from excessive sharpening, but detail preservation is just better. Take a look at this, right? Absolutely better 5x shot from the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL. And this here is the 10x shot, where it seems the same story repeats, and it seems that the 5x and 10x of the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL are delivering better results than the 5x and 10x from the S24 Ultra. Another 5x sample to check if this is really valid all the time. Well, this time it's tougher, but in general the Pixel delivers a very good output at 5x. And now let's examine the UltraWide. But how are we gonna do this? We're gonna start from the main camera, because it's important to understand the consistency in the overall color rendition. So on the right, the S24 Ultra, again, we have here the signature S24 Ultra vibrant look, and honestly I do like the footage from the S24 Ultra more. And now let's go to the ultra-wide, because it really gets interesting here. The Google Pixel 9 Pro XL is equipped with a brand new ultra-wide camera that is 48 megapixel versus the 12 megapixel old one on the S24 Ultra. Also, the aperture of the ultra-wide in the S24 Ultra is 2.2, and we have f1.7 on the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL, which is the same aperture as almost the main camera, which is incredibly good. It means that it's able to capture more light. But is the result actually better? I do believe it is. Just take a look at the detail. Far more detail preservation. Again, it suffers from the same pixel illness, the excessive sharpening, but overall, the ultra-wide on the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL is able to capture more details and is doing a better job than the ultra-wide from the S24 Ultra. So it's probably time for Samsung to just update that old 12 megapixel camera and put a proper one in the next S25 Ultra. What do you think? And now let's check the night photos. We have a very good object here, nicely illuminated. What we can see is that the exposure at the center object is very similar in both phones. When we start to zoom in, we can see that the S24 Ultra is capturing more detail here. Now, what about the kid in the photo? I do believe that for sure S24 Ultra, more detail and a better exposure. What happens in the darker areas? Yes, again, see the lines here, so straight, and the footage here again really not that great. Another night shot from the main camera. This one looks similar, so no big difference so far. And another night shot. Take a look at the cars. They're blurred on the Pixel 9 Pro XL. When we start to zoom in though on the boy, this time I do believe that the Pixel was able to capture the face better. Now let's check some night sky, because you know that this is a problem for Samsung. Well, you can see some things here on the Samsung sky that are definitely not in the photo from the Pixel 9 Pro XL. Overall, both photos very similar, and the one from the Pixel is doing a better job because of the way it only handles sky. And this is a 5x night photo. I do believe that we have a better photo here on the right from the S24 Ultra. Just take a look at the lines here and here. So it seems like a drawing, like a painting already on the Pixel. And this is the 10x photo, which reiterates the same statement. Just take a look here. We have things that are barely visible from the Pixel 9 Pro XL photo. And another night sample. Just take a look here. Better highlight controls for the S24 Ultra, the pixel overexposed, and of course the detail is less. If you are not zooming in, you might think it's the same, but the moment you start to zoom in, you realize that the photo from the S24 Ultra is just better. And this was it, guys, for this comparison. Let me know what you think down below. Is the Pixel video camera quality and photo camera quality comparable to the Samsung S24 Ultra, or do you think that it lags behind? Let me know what you think down below, and thank you so much for watching. VST over and bye.